Hi, I'm Tina Desiree Berg with Status Coup News, reporting for Breaking Points. What the City of Atlanta and police are calling a public safety training center, activists have dubbed Cop City. The neighborhood where Cop City is slated to be built is an unincorporated part of DeKalb County, and it is mainly a poor black neighborhood. For 3 years, protesters have camped in the Weehilani Forest, where the location is. And in January, the Georgia police killed one of those protesters while trying to sweep the protesters from the park. Police claim the protesters shot at them first, but an independent autopsy showed that Manuel Terán, affectionately known as Tortuguita, had 57 gunshot wounds and was seated with their hands up when shot. The City of Atlanta and the police have slowly been escalating their aggression towards the protest movement. They have arrested several activists that are being charged as domestic terrorists, even though they have done nothing more than utilize their First Amendment rights. And this week, they arrested an elder activist who was peacefully protesting outside of one of Cop City's funders, Home Depot.
Criminal trespass on Home Depot property. Now you're under arrest. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, this is free political speech.
Yes, I did.
No, you did
I said
not.
Home Depot did not want y'all here.
We will leave if y'all want.
I did not get told anything of the sort, or else I wouldn't be doing this, ma'am. I did not get told anything like that.
This is free political speech.
Wouldn't be doing that if I had been told that, ma'am.
Come on.
We're having our free speech request.
Then that's fine, but I told you Home Depot did not want you on the property.
Right in front of
Stop
you.
Cop City. Divest
I was
from
not
APS.
told this. Are you hearing
Yes,
me?
I did tell
No,
you
you
that.
didn't, ma'am. I did not hear a
Okay.
thing.
Why is she being arrested?
Did she go inside the store?
She did.
She said
It's
she
a
did
store.
No, and I understand that it's a store, but Home Depot corporate is here, and they did not want anybody protesting in the store. When they start reading out the letter, I asked them to go ahead and exit the premises. At that time, I also issued them a criminal trespass warning, telling them that Home Depot did not want their business or them inside the store.
Were other people detained?
This is not an interview. I told you the basis of what you need to know. The rest of it you can read in the police report.
She spent the night in jail and was released on a $1,500 bail bond, and she's being now charged with criminal trespassing. But one of the things that the Home Depot rep told us that day was that they wanted the police to arrest these individuals and they didn't want them on the property, which sort of plays into the narrative. The following day, we saw something similar at Cadence Bank. There were some bank individuals with the bank outside with a very large police present. And when I lied down on the stairs to film part of the protest, they told me that I was even going to be arrested if I touched the stairs anymore, and that it was private property, and that would be criminal trespassing per Cadence Bank. Late in the hours, a jail support group showed up where Lorraine was being held overnight and had a protest.
We are weak. We are strong. We are weak. Stay together. All right, we're past the line supposedly. Stay together. Stay together. Stay tight.
Cross the street, please. Cross the street.
We heard across the street. We heard you enough.
Over there.
We spoke with one of Lorraine's friends who was present there that night at the jail support protest. This is what she had to say.
I was hoping to help get her out tonight, but apparently, according to these people, it probably won't happen until tomorrow. So that's the best I know. I'm concerned about her. I saw the tape of her being arrested in the lot. It seemed like very low-hanging fruit to me, and she makes good signs. I know her as a very peaceful, consensus-building peacemaker. She's been in Atlanta since the late 60s. I know she's been arrested before for standing up for peace, justice, and what's right in the world. So, you know, I'm just frustrated. This is just so unnecessary, and it's such a conversion of so many issues, and the fact that Tortuguita's mom and brother are here, it charges it up. But all the lights and the cameras and the action, it's just more the boys with the toys and the military-industrial complex at work again.
All of this is occurring many months after a forest defender, Manuel Terán, was murdered by the Georgia State Police in the Weehilani Forest, close to where we are tonight. The Georgia State Police were basically claiming that Terán had a gun in his tent and that he fired upon officers first and that they fired back in a flurry of bullets. But that doesn't seem to be entirely accurate given information that we have now received. There has been body cam footage in which one of the officers made a reference to them shooting their own officer.
No, that sounded like suppressed gunfire.
You fucked your own officer up.
An independent autopsy showed that Tort had 57 gunshot wounds in his body. Another report showed that he had no gun residue on his hands. And what we draw from that is that if he had fired a gun at an officer, there would be gunshot residue on the hands. We also spoke with Manuel Terran's mother, Tort's mother, this week, and she had very sharp words for the mainstream media and how they were covering the situation.
The problem is that there is no information about that. The problem is that the media doesn't, they are busy, because I don't say they are not busy. The media is busy, the television is busy. Just,
no, it's okay, say it. I'm part of the media and I agree with you.
Just telling the people the disasters, or when he died, when he died, it was hundred of people calling me that they wanted my interview to tell me that how many shots he has. I mean, all the drama, but they don't inform about what is going on, and we have to give that information. We have to teach the community what's going on. The media have to say it. The media have to help the community, but they don't do that.
No, I agree. I mean, I think a prime example, just from my point of view, is how when all of these arrests happened, the media just jumped on and called everybody a domestic terrorist without actually investigating what had transpired. I know for a fact several of the individuals that were arrested, because I was there, did nothing more than march with a banner. That is First Amendment protected free speech. Calling these individuals a domestic terrorist as a member of the media is doing a terrible job at your job. Your job is to actually look into what the press release says and not just, be a stenographer, whatever the cops are saying, this is what happened. So I agree the media is part and parcel to the problem. What an amazing breath of fresh air you are, though, just to be so full of love and positivity given what's happened, because it's very heartbreaking. There was no need for him to be killed that way.
No, Manuel was a caring person. He was pacifist. He was hugging people. I have many testimonies that he was helping people, hugging them like I do.
The fight to stop Cop City continues. Decades of frustration among Black Atlanta voters to have their voices heard. They argue that there needs to be funding for mental awareness, education, things of this nature, and not more police. We attended and covered the Hip Hop Caucus town hall that was very informative and also full of passionate speeches.
So when we talk about a mayor and we talk about what he's doing, Mayor Dickens is not the first one to ignore East Atlanta. So the one time that the city of Atlanta decides to tap into that little pocket of Southeast Atlanta that is also unincorporated DeKalb County, that's right, which has been the excuse for ignoring it all this time. Yep. The one time you want to come over here and you want to do something where I grew up, where my granny still has her house that they will never take. Come on. The one time you decide to come, you want to cut down 380 out of 381 acres of trees to build what you call an 85-acre public training facility, but that's 85 acres spread out. That's not 85 acres grouped together. That's going to be more than 85 acres of trees that are being destroyed in the midst of a global climate crisis.
Recently, the Atlanta City Council approved to fund Cop City in a vote which was 4 saying no and everybody else saying yes. Initially, they said the price tag was going to be $30 million, but it turns out that it's probably going to be closer to $60 million. This was after we heard hours and hours of testimony of constituents not wanting Cop City to be built.
Since the protests began, we've seen violence, including the death of one protester, as well as dozens of arrests and incredulous charges of domestic terrorism, in some cases stemming from the Defend the Atlanta Forest movement. I believe that these tactics are designed more to quell dissent and to dissuade working people from exercising their rights to protest and demonstrate than they are to legitimately uphold the law.
Is this the best you can think of? The City Council of Atlanta is being asked to allocate $33.5 million of public funds toward a privately operated so-called public safety training facility. Is this the best you can think of? If any of you answer yes, then there has either been a supreme abdication of responsibility to the people who elected you, not those who funded your campaign, but the people you ostensibly represent and serve, or a fundamental failure of imagination.
The policing promoted by this facility will not make Atlanta safer. In fact, it will put our communities, particularly our black and brown communities, in significant danger. Research shows that as police forces in the United States become more militarized, they become more violent. This is not only because of greater access to high-powered weapons and war zone training, but it is also because militarization instills a culture that permits and even encourages a greater use of force.
It's also important to mention that the site where Stop Cop City is being built, the forest itself, is in an unincorporated part of the city. So they don't actually have city council representation if they live in that area. We also now have a referendum that has been approved by the city after some delay in the start of a lawsuit against the county clerk's office. So they are up against a deadline of August 14th. They need 70,000 signatures to get this on the ballot in November. The pool of voters in Atlanta is about 400,000, and they need 70,000 to sign. So they've been working the last few days canvassing and opening offices where people can come in and sign. We visited a referendum office earlier in the week, and there was a steady flow of citizens coming in to sign this. They want to be able to vote on it. Quick question. You just came in when I was talking with the folks that are putting on the referendum to Stop Cop City, and you signed the petition. So what was the reason that you came down here to sign the referendum today?
Yeah, I feel like the citizens of the city have the right for themselves to choose, to vote on this issue. I feel like we haven't really been heard with the city council vote. And basically everything up until now has kind of been behind closed doors. There's been a lack of transparency. So, yeah, I think this should be given to the citizens.
Despite community opposition, the city council has approved to fund this, and they want to go forward with it. The mayor supports that. But the community is continuing to fight back with no signs of stopping.
And for the rest of the council members, they simply don't believe that people will remember. But the thing that I said to someone who interviewed me last week was that we will remember in November. And I don't care if it's this November, the next November, or 10 Novembers down the line, we will remember, because I don't even have to mention the term Cop City. The residents of Atlanta will know what they don't have. They will know that they don't have affordable housing. They will know that they don't have site remediation for lead levels in water. They will know that they don't have adequate child care. They will know that they don't have wraparound services in community. They will know that they don't have infrastructure repairs. And they will know more than anything that they do not have adequate representation on the Atlanta City Council. So we will remember in November, and we will vote you out.